Hey guys, this is Midget and welcome to another episode of my Walking Dead reviews. Today we're reviewing episode 14 of season 4 and it's called The Grove. So this episode was definitely one of the most boring episodes since we came back from the mid-season break. I know it's kind of weird because I used to enjoy the episodes, and now this one was a bit of a letdown in my opinion, because at the start someone's getting chased by a walker, which and this is before the start credits, so obviously it's making it a bit tense, setting an expectation for, let's say, the episode. But in the end it was a really boring episode in my opinion. I didn't like it. So this episode this video is going to be shorter than usual because I couldn't find enough things, to review about or something, it's just, but at night, Carol and Lizzie are talking about random things, just Lizzie and Carol having, normal girl talk, and then they eventually come to Sophia. Do you love Sophia? Did you miss her? And, and then Lizzie said, would you miss me? And Carol said, I wouldn't need to miss you, and I didn't get that at first. I didn't get that, I was a bit zoned out, you could say. I didn't get it. I thought she was, being nasty to Lizzie, but then at the next cutscene, I was like, oh yeah, she meant, that she won't die, because I thought she meant that if she dies, she won't miss her. That's what I thought she meant, basically. And, so, later on in the morning, because that was at night, Carol and Mika go into the woods to investigate, but primarily to talk, because, Carol said that she needs to learn how to kill walkers, and Mika said she doesn't like killing anybody, and she's a fast runner, so it's okay. But Carol, quickly interrupted and said, my daughter Sophia was a fast runner, and she didn't make it out alive, so I don't want the same thing happening to you. And just before I get on to the next little point, I just want to say, I watched, because I watched yesterday, I watched, The Walking Dead. So the day before yesterday, I watched World War Z, and I got to admit, if the zombies in The Walking Dead were like the World War Z zombies, they'd be screwed, because, I'm a fast runner, but did you see the World War Z zombies? Whoa, they're mental. If you haven't, just go and check them up, They're not as scary, I would say, but they're definitely more dangerous in a way, but never mind. So Tyreese is a walker, because while Carol and Mika are in the woods talking, Tyreese is a walker quite far away on the train track, and he goes to kill it, but Lizzie eventually stops him, who's left with a baby, and I was like, oh Lizzie, calm down Lizzie, but Carol and everybody managed to I didn't understand this bit, because she went with Mika, but then all of a sudden they find a grove, and then all of them go, it missed out the part where they went back for them, but never mind. But and that smoke, I didn't understand what that was about. Could it be, okay, I'll leave this for the ending, never mind. But they find a house, and while Carol and Tyreese go in to check if it's safe, Lizzie and Mika are put on guard, basically, and while they're talking, a zombie stumbles out, and Mika shoots it a couple of times, 3 times, and finally manages to kill it. And then Carol and Tyreese run out, so it was all alright, basically. Mika finds a doll, and she decides to name it something, I can't remember what she named it, and she decided, well, she said to the people that she wants them to live there because, it's the closest to home they've got, and I was like, I don't think living in a zombie apocalypse, in a house is the safest option. You'd be better off as a hermit, and because, as a hermit, basically, you can, run away, zombies, because you don't have to be, you don't have to have a gun, you can just be fast, because the zombies are dumb. It's just how, mainly how the zombies get you. If there's a giant thing going on and you're concentrating that one thing, it's not, a single walker would get you, you got Dale, that was just spoilers in season 2, it's not like that. So But however, if you're in a house, loads of people are going to come and raid your house and most likely kill you, because they want all the food for themselves and you're not going to let them have it, so they're going to kill you, most likely. But while Carol and Tyreese get water, Lizzie feeds the train track zombie, because the zombie, the one that Tyreese was going to kill, I mentioned earlier, he fell in like this train track bit, and Lizzie went to feed it mice, and Mika went with her, telling it's a bad idea, and all the zombies that were from that fire, you could tell because they were like burning. They weren't on flames, but they were burnt zombies. They started chasing Mika and Lizzie. They eventually outran him, but I don't understand this, because later on in the episode, Lizzie, when she gets chased by that walker from the starting cutscene, she sort of says that all the walkers want is a friend, and they can hear him. But why would she run away from all those walkers if she still thought that, like, what? I don't understand, but it just doesn't make sense. But then Mika trips, and zombie almost gets, kills her, but all of them, shoot the walkers. And, Carol gave Lizzie a look. I don't know why it was, but, oh yeah, it's because, she thought they needed a friend. However, she kept killing them. But Mika, kills them, says she doesn't particularly want to kill them, but she has to. And I was like, yeah, it's true. But they run away. Carol tells Lizzie if she understands how dangerous the walkers are, and Lizzie's like, yeah, nodding her off and everything. But Tyreese tells Carol about seeing Karen, and, Carol at this point is like 10 meters, no, she's like 2 meters, ahead of Tyreese, but she's looking at the camera, so, like, say I'm Carol right now, Tyreese is about there, and she's looking into the camera, and you can see that Carol wants to tell him about who killed Carol and Karen to Tyreese, because he's like, oh, I have nightmares about some stranger killed me, and I was like, oh snap, it was just really, I could tell she's going to tell him in this episode, I saw it happening. But then upon returning to the house, they saw Lizzie with bloody hands, who stabbed Mika. She's a bloody psychopath, but doesn't seem sad. She's more like, giving a cheeky grin, thinking it's all alright, she killed her sister. And she's like, it's alright, she's gonna come back. But then I was like, Lizzie, okay, think of it this way, Lizzie, if you could still have her if you left her alive. There's no need to kill her, because you can talk to her, you can do more, practically, you can do more things with her when she's alive rather than she's dead, so you're pretty stupid, Lizzie. But then she is mentally disabled, sort of, she's just weird, sociopathic girl, whatever. Tyreese takes Lizzie home, and him and Carol think how to execute her, but then eventually Carol and Lizzie go to talk about stuff, and Lizzie's like, she thinks she let Carol down, basically, and she starts crying. But then Carol's like, look at the flowers, and finally kills Lizzie, with a head shot, I presume. But Carol tells Tyreese after the break, she tells that she killed Karen and David, and after a couple of questions like, did you do it quick, why'd you do it, instead of using the violent, and this is a true gentleman, Tyreese, right then, because he went, I'll forgive you, he clutched the gun, but then he said he's gonna forgive her, which is absolutely amazing, because, I was expecting him to fully kill Carol then, because, it's like you lose your mind in the zombie apocalypse. The first thing you're going to do is look for violence, and he grabbed the gun. She's like, I think Carol even expected that she was going to die at that moment, so she didn't really give too much. But she didn't, and Tyreese was such a lad for, forgiving her. He said, I won't forget, but I'll forgive you. And then they talk about leaving the house, and basically, that's how the episode ended. So this was, like I said, it was a pretty boring episode. I would give it a 7.5, but I'd rather, stick to one-digit numbers, sort of one-unit numbers. So I rounded it up to 8. It was, it was boring apart from that last break. you know, when Carol, I keep getting Carol and Carol mixed up because I keep talking about them so much. And when Carol told Tyreese, you know, and when the 2 deaths occurred, it was alright, you know, it was like 8 material, but rather than that, it was just mostly talking, and there wasn't too much to the episode, you know. It was just talking and collecting water, and hunting deers, and talking about survival, and so that's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. But yes, so now let's move on to the, like, you know, the other stuff. But basically, I found this episode, you know, it's just kind of weird because we had 2 good episodes in my opinion, and we get to this one, which is pretty pointless. You could have simply, you could have had the last 15 minutes and it would still be what it is now. You'd still know the exact same, because apart from the last, you know, last 2 deaths and thingy, there was nothing to it, you know. It's just, oh, I'm so frustrated that we have to wait another week, but hopefully the last 2 episodes are better. But I truly feel that there was a tiny bit of character development from the 2 girls before they died, but most of the characters now, there's nowhere, like, they've developed the characters so much. Like, for example, Carol, I could see her 2 seasons ago, I could see her, no, 3 seasons ago, I could have seen her, you know, slowly fading into the background, and she wouldn't be a walker, and no one would give anything. But now, she's a big role in this, you know, in this show, you know. Basically, that's why it's quite cool. But the other thing I talked about mid-episode, I was like, is Daryl, was that the house Daryl burned, you know? Because Daryl burnt a house and all the walkers were coming from there, and at the end of Daryl's episode you saw, you know, all the walkers around the house, so that potentially might have been where Daryl was. So you know, that's just a thought. But the last thing I want to talk about is when will we see Rick, because, you know, I watch it on Fox, and you know, when it basically goes into commercial breaks, and when it you know, it's about to start again, it goes, this show's for 18-year-olds plus, and it's got a picture of Rick, but we haven't seen Rick in at least 4 episodes, so he shouldn't be the main character, or at least, well, he should still be the main character because the show revolves around him, but it shouldn't be, you know, his picture there. I know he's, like, you know, the main character and all, but, you know, if we haven't seen him in 4 episodes, they should, like, put a picture of someone that is included in the episode, for example. I don't know, because after all, we've seen the sneak peeks, you know, the release sneak peeks, so it's not like we shouldn't know who's in there, you know. If they release sneak peeks, we should know who's in the episode, so they should put a picture of the guy. But, you know, again, so it's a boring episode, you know, apart from the last 15 minutes, you didn't really miss much. And yeah, so that's basically it. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. If you did, make sure to give it a like, and yeah, so this was Midget, and I'll see you guys next time.